There is no chaos in the universe. Nothing is random and everything is intelligently designed. Yes, we get to orchestrate our journey, how it plays out, and what we accomplish here. That is completely in your hands. But I want to talk to you today about every single thing happening, that it is not chaos, that it is not random, nor punishment. Are you ready to go there? I'm going to share some stories with you that you can probably relate to. We're going to talk about what's going on out there that can hopefully put you at ease in many, many ways. Come with me. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an awesome life. I'm not sweating because it's 90 degrees out there, 100% humidity. I think I probably shouldn't go for a run, so I thought you and I would have a little chat. All right, I'm going to share some stories with you, and I want you to really open yourself up, if you choose, open yourself up to what this could potentially mean for you, because we get stuck in our box. We listen to what's out there, which is always criticism, confining, negative. It limits us, right? It's very controlling and programming. We live in that world every day, and it's tough to not expose ourselves to it on some level, right? But I do want to share with you that there is no chaos in the universe. Everyone who has ever died has willingly participated in that. Even the horrific deaths. Now I'm going to give you one example. There was a gal, beautiful girl, who in college was randomly murdered. It was very bizarre, but somebody tackled her as she was walking home from a party and did horrific things to her and then left her out and burned her body in the middle of nowhere. It made no sense at all. These things make no sense at all to us, right? Especially violence and killing. But I want to share something with you. Her parents wanted to find out who this person was through DNA. And in order to do that, in the state they lived in, the police were not allowed to swab anybody for DNA unless they were convicted of a crime. They wanted to pass a law where if somebody was arrested for a violent crime, that they could swab them and put it into the database. Well, if you're not doing anything wrong, right? What's the big damn deal? I know a lot of people say, it's my freedom and whatever. Well, if your freedom is doing good things, then it's not an issue. Okay, so let's not go into that space. That's just personal opinions that we don't have to argue. But the bottom line is they felt that not only could it convict a person, find who that was, but stop them from maybe committing this crime. Now, they found out who that person was, and because he got arrested again for, yes, another violent crime, and had done it again. Now, let me share something with you. This girl's parents not only forgave the murderer and said that they felt that, it was the best thing to do is to release any anger or hatred toward this person, but because of the death of their daughter, they passed this law. And her father said on camera, I can't wait to meet all the people whose lives were saved because of this. In other words, that one death created their actions for this law that probably have saved hundreds of people, because now that DNA is in that computer system and can find somebody right away and stop them from going back out there, where if they didn't have a DNA swab, they could get arrested all kinds of times for violent crimes, go back and be killing people, and they wouldn't even know it until they got actually convicted. So the attitude of the father was that life served a purpose, and sometimes we can't see it. Other people have felt like they were victims and it was senseless and this shouldn't happen. But so many of those crimes are demonstrations to others and turning points. They do serve a purpose. Sometimes it's painful, but it serves a purpose in our lives in many, many ways. So I want to share that with you because I want you to know that even the people that are dying from the virus right now are choosing to pass at this particular time. Why? Because what's happening is they may have, obviously have compromised immune systems, right? They may have gotten just the regular flu or anything else and died. They chose to do it now to contribute to what's going on out there so the planet can start to shift into something else, because it is forcing us to change our way of life. Nothing is random, nothing's without purpose. All right, even the death of certain people, sometimes it releases others. I know that my kitty cat, if you guys remember Coup, I cried on camera, got killed by coyotes. Coup was actually having issues with neurological problems. He was having problems even jumping up on anything, which is why he probably got caught by coyotes. He was a stray, but I kept him in most of the time, but you can't keep a stray in, they'll rip the door down. So he would go out in the morning, and I think that's how he got caught. He actually, one pupil was big and one was small, and I knew he was having a neurological problem. I looked it up, and the thing was, is he was starting to get in and progress into the very late stages of that. Pretty soon he was not going to be able to even use his back legs, and he would have had to like scoot around and pee all over himself. That was, we were getting close to that point. Coup went out like this, right? Horrible way to go, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm hoping he went quick. But the bottom line is, Coup came in my life for a reason. A stray kitty who was, he and I bonded like unlike any other animal that I had, to be really honest with you, and I've had other animals. And he went out quickly. Because Coup left, I was able to move, because I would not have moved if he was still alive, because he was a stray, and there was no way I could actually take him to a new location, because he wouldn't know that location. He probably would have been hit by a car, because I'm here in the city, and it just wouldn't have been a situation. He freed me up to go ahead and move to a place where I needed to be. There's no coincidences. If you really look at everything that happens and why it happens, there's always a choice within there by the person or for others around, usually both. Never, ever feel anger or victimization from this if you want to go into that space of peace and awakening. Never go into that if you want to go to that higher frequency, because the one doesn't make mistakes. The one is always with you communicating, and if you decide you're going to exit at some point, then that's what you're going to do. A friend of mine, his son had been struggling with some personal issues. He finally got on his feet, got his own place and a job, and was off doing amazing. And thereafter died in his sleep. He was in his 30s. And my friend said, I don't believe that there's a purpose for some things. I think there is some chaos sometimes. And I said, I don't believe that. I believe that his son went out on top. He came back. He overcame some personal crises. He conquered them. And he went out. He went out on top. If he'd have stayed around, maybe he'd have to spend his whole life battling that. But he didn't. He came here, and maybe that was his mission. Maybe he didn't do that in his last lifetime, and he thought, I'm going to come here and I'm going to conquer that. And he did. And then he left. And when I said that to my friend, I think it really clicked with him. Wow, that might make some sense. We don't want to accept things that are painful for us. That doesn't always make sense. But we all leave this planet. And how great to go out with some kind of purpose, even if it's in a situation that is really ugly. Like some of the deaths, the shootings we've had here, the issues with, the police and racism, all those things. Those are still individuals, not to paint everybody with the same brush. Right? So, but it brings it in the spotlight that those individuals still have to be dealt with, and we have to end this kind of behavior. So those people become heroes. Can you switch your thinking and see purpose in absolutely everything? So even the crises that you go through, everything's a message for you, for positive change. If you struggle with something, it isn't random. There's always a cause and effect. Now, if you reverse engineer everything, you'll have to say to yourself, wait a minute, yeah, there's a series of events that happened that led to this. It just doesn't happen overnight. So the universe is always giving you your cosmic telegram. If you've seen my older videos, a cosmic telegram is usually, a telegram was usually not a good thing in the old days, because when people went to war, that's how they got, notified that somebody died or was injured. It was really important when you got a telegram. Sometimes it was congratulations, somebody got married or something, you've inherited money, something like that, right? So when you got that knock on the door, a lot of people, they didn't want to answer the door because they were afraid it was going to be bad news. We still do that. The cosmic telegrams telling you what needs to be looked at. In other words, it's going to say, this keeps happening. You must look at this. Read and open your cosmic telegrams. So you keep piling them up against the door, and you can't even open the door anymore, and you block out the sun, because you're not dealing with the messages from the universe telling you that you're creating all this, and that when you handle this message, this telegram that's been sent to you, then what happens? You mastered it and you move on. No, you're not going to die. Well, you will die. We're all going to die. But you're not going to die because of that. It's like, okay, now we can move on to more important things that are going to bring you to the evolvement of your spiritual being, your 5D, whatever you want to go into. But it can't happen unless you open those telegrams and face what's going on. Everything serves a positive purpose, so you can never say to yourself, oh, this shouldn't be happening or whatever, if you want to empower yourself. You're going to have to admit that you're participating in it, you're creating it, and that those you're blaming, you've brought into your life also. Are you picking bad relationships? Are you picking jobs that aren't good for you? Are you telling yourself all kinds of stories in your head? These are all telegrams saying this is creating that. And if you don't like that, then you need to deal with this. And that's that cosmic telegram. I always have bad relationships. I'm dating them. Oh, I'm always broke. I keep putting myself in situations that are not good. I don't believe that I'm worthy of money. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And that telegram is, what's your message to the universe? What's the message to the universe that has to cause that, that's causing that? Now, if you take my Conscious Manifesting workshop, we go into this. And the workshop, you actually get to go online, do the 3-hour workshop, and then you get these things broken down with questions you're going to ask yourself, and then we're going to turn around and say, what's the solution? What's the solution? How do we become that different person? Because there's nothing random and there's nothing chaos, and nobody ever punishes you. You're doing it to yourself. Nobody has to. You date jerks? Oh, hello. Not happy in your relationship? I don't remember anybody like twisting your arm to go down the aisle. So I'm sure that happens sometimes, but even that is still a lesson and a relationship part of your soul group. So what are you doing? And can you look at everything and say, there's a reason that's happening. There's a reason for all of this. We're ordering it, and there is a positive purpose in absolutely everything. It's all for our evolution. It's all teachings. Can you see it that way? Because if you see it that way, you'll never have a problem in your life again. You're going to say, oops, something I got to take care of. Okay, yeah. And maybe you can ignore it. You can let those telegrams pile up all you want, but they're still going to be there, and it's going to keep, they're going to be knocking on the door, handing you more and more telegrams until you open them up and decide if you want to deal with it. All right, you do that and you master them. It's not painful. You're going to open up all kinds of doorways to amazing things. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. As always, I have free workshops for internet marketing courses, internet marketing. This is all business, all learning, new skills, new way of life. Getting fired? Great. Get training online. Nobody's going to take your computer away in your house. Well, hopefully they won't do that. Down in the description, you can visit landriaonkka.com for all my spiritual courses. You can go to landriaonkka.com for those. This is landriaonkka.net. Please subscribe. Please share these. I don't know what else to do. I keep putting more and more tools and trainings and webinars out there. I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until finally I just don't have any more business because nobody needs me. Wouldn't that be a great world? Where it's like, wow, we get it, we all get it. And then we won't have to pay bills or anything because everybody's going to be so loving and giving, and we'll be in the 5D world where nobody gets sick, and it's amazing. You'll still be a human being. You get to experience the feelings of being human, but there won't be the same kind of feelings. You're not going to be on this emotional roller coaster anymore. You're going to see the purpose in everything. And death won't be a problem, and nothing else will be a problem. You can do that right now. Blessings to you, my friend. Health, wealth, and awakening. Namaste.